Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm going to talk today about South Africa's president, Jacob Zuma. And Jacob Zuma is he's basically evil. He's a gangster. He's a liar. And he doesn't take responsibility. Okay, here's what has happened with South Africa since he's been president. Okay, first of all, before he became president, he was under investigation for corruption 700 times. Okay, 700. I'm not making this number up. And comedian Trevor Noah noted that on his show. He had official news documents, so it was a combination of funny and serious. But then also, Jacob Zuma had a house that wasn't the presidential house. He had another house. And to renovate the house, he embezzled $15 million in government funds. And when the news media caught sight of his swimming pool that he illegally built on government funds, using government funds, he said, "It's my fire pool." Basically, if it's a fire, we get the water from the pool and dump it on the fire, which is basically a bogus BS story. And also, before he became president, he had a huge habit and record of bad checks, closed accounts. If he wrote a check, it would bounce. And then now he's in charge of South Africa's finances. Okay, and right now South Africa has a over 27% unemployment rate. The unemployment rate is extremely high. It's at 27%. And also as far as crime goes, there are 1,400 carjackings each month. So far this year, that's what it's been. 1,400 carjackings each month. And while murder and rape have increased by 2%, murder and rape are still problems, and South Africa still has the highest murder rate in the world. And Jacob Zuma has done nothing to stop that. Also, now, the murder of whites on farms is a problem. Now, yes, whites only account for about 1.8% of the murder victims. But here is where it gets tricky, okay? For a rural farmer in South Africa, a rural landowner, the chances of being killed is 97 per 100,000. For a policeman, and it's very dangerous to be a policeman in South Africa, for a policeman, it's 52 per 100,000. So if you are a rural farmer, you are at risk of being killed by people for revenge, what they would call revenge, even though some of them themselves probably were not oppressed. For revenge, for property, or for just pure hatred. Sometimes they'll try, suspects will go in and try to rob the house and there's nothing there, but they'll kill the farmer, but they'll torture the farmer, make the farmer die a slow, painful death, as you saw recently, a couple from Wales that immigrated to South Africa and bought a farm, owned a farm there. The lady that they killed, they tortured her with a blowtorch. They left the husband for dead, but he miraculously survived. And that's all too common. So, Jacob Zuma is a corrupt individual. Also, we don't know if it was rape or we don't know if it was consensual sex. There's not enough evidence to prove one way or the other, and he was tried for rape and acquitted. But he knew the woman he was having sex with was HIV positive, and then you're going to try to launch a campaign against AIDS. And he said how he cured himself was he took a shower after having sex with that woman. It's just very sick and very despicable. And there have been cases where he has been singing things like "Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer," which is basically a hate song, and it's basically hate speech. I'm not saying hate speech, but this is beyond hate speech. This is a threat. Okay, it's a threat to anybody who's Afrikaner. Boer is another word for Afrikaner, and anybody who's a farmer. That's a threatening song. That's not protected under freedom of speech. So, also right now he's trying to confiscate a lot of white-owned land, but without compensation. Okay, he wants to take the land away from white South Africans and give to certain black South Africans, but as we're seeing in Zimbabwe, that practice does not work. And then also it doesn't go to the poor blacks a lot of times. It goes to the president's political cronies. And Jacob Zuma really wants to imitate and be like Robert Mugabe. And Mugabe did not give it to the people who needed the land. He gave it to his political cronies. So, and then without the proper compensation, that violates the Constitution. That's why South Africa's parliament killed the bill. Zuma broke away from his ANC party. He still belongs to the party, but he sided with the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters, with Julius Malema. And Julius Malema has been caught as well saying, kill the Boer, kill the farmer, and wanting to take away the land from the Dutch thugs. Never mind that a lot of these landowners are black, that South African statisticians have said that there is no way that they can determine what percentage of black person owns land in South Africa and then what percentage that white people own. 78% of the land is privately owned in the rural areas, but not all of that is from Caucasian farmers. So, I mean, the statisticians are basically saying what Zuma wants in this case is basically impossible to do. I mean, we've also seen that this kind of practice wrecks the economy because many of the people that the land is given to, they don't know how to cultivate the land. I'm not saying it's through any fault of their own. They don't. And then they bring the white farmers back as advisors because they don't know what they're doing in a lot of cases. I pointed this out in previous videos. So anyway, hope everybody's doing well. Take care. God bless and bye-bye. Bye-bye.